is the slump test. Okay, so the slump test allows us to look at, again, the sciatic nerve bias, and look at that sciatic nerve and its ability to kind of go through each of these different positions. So let me have you sitting over the edge of the, or sitting on the edge of the table, facing that direction. Okay. Now the way this is written is, typically you want to make it where it's passive. Okay, typically, at least to the degree that you can. Okay. The first thing that I'm going to have the patient do is I'm going to have her slump, right, and I'm going to have her flex her cervical spine. So I'm going to kind of hold her in that position where she's in cervical flexion and she's in thoracolumbar kind of gross flexion in this position. Okay? If she gets symptoms right there, that's a positive test and I'm done. Okay? If she doesn't, the next thing that I do is I'm going to passively bring her into knee extension. Okay? Again, if she gets symptoms here, I'm going to document positive with knee at, and I'll document the position of that knee. Okay? If she's not positive, when I get her all the way up here, the next component is I'm going to now dorsiflex her. Right? So you can see that in that position, that will elicit symptoms. I'm basically pulling on that sciatic nerve all the way from the dural root to the spinal cord all the way down through the leg. So it's a mass kind of flexion pattern. Okay? So I'm, again, just kind of passively flexing her here. I'm gently and slowly bringing her up here, but I'm still maintaining the cervical component. And then if there are no symptoms, the last phase, the last component is I'll dorsiflex the foot. Now, if they get a positive symptom, what really helps me then is I'll let them release the cervical spine. So I'll still hold her thoracic spine, but now I'm going to have her look up. If she looks up and her symptoms go away, that confirms that I have some neurologic involvement, some issues with neuromobility. And then I can bring them back on when I do this.
Sounds bad.
Okay, good. See how that works? So I use the cervical spine as what's called the sensitizing maneuver. I'll turn it off and turn it on again and see what happens with that. That allows me to know that it's not just muscle pull. See, it wouldn't affect the hamstrings if she extended her cervical spine. So it's not just a muscle pull, but it's truly a neurologic mobility issue. What I like about the slump test is that we can use this very easily for intervention. If I wanted to start doing some things for this patient to go home, starting to have her do, she might have difficulty going into a straight leg raise on her own. But I can have her easily going into some slump, sitting, and extending the knee and coming out of it. So I can work on neural mobility. If these tests are positive, they immediately become the intervention. Right? So what I might have her do is I might have her just start off at home. If she had a positive test, I want you just to extend your knee and dorsiflex your foot. Turn it on, and now plantar flex, and come all the way down. Turn it off, and bring it up. Dorsiflex, turn it on. Plantar flex, turn it off. So I've got to kind of get that pulling at one end. I might also have her floss it. All right, so I might have her go into this position here, right? And now as she brings that back down again, then I have her slump. And then I have her kind of sit up straight, and I have her pull. So you're pulling it at the distal end, and then you're pulling it at the proximal end. See how that's working? So I'm actually going through this kind of flossing mechanism. Why? The nerve is stuck somewhere. I'm just trying to free it up. I'm trying to get it moving. All right? So I can go through neural glides and I can go through neural flossing techniques if I find positive tests. And that's predicated on these positions. And this slump test is kind of a nice position to begin doing that in.